Wilhelm Reich on jet vapor trails. Excerpts from his last book, Contact with Space. In this report, Dr. Reich talks about his cloud-busting operations in the United States and his contact with unidentified flying objects.
On July 6, 1953, the first major successful drought-breaking, rain-making operation took place at Ellsworth, Maine. We knew at that time that our operation had been carefully followed by the Air Force. A plane flew close by during the operation. It rained neatly in order fashion on the following night all through from the coast to Wrangell, after a dry spell of about 6 weeks. 2 days later, on July 8 in the morning, AAF planes appeared over Oregon trailing what appeared to be research equipment behind them. It was most likely monitoring the background count of the atmosphere. From then onward, the planes were around wherever order research was being done. This interest of the AAF in our work had its further good reasons. A second link was given in parallel atmospheric research concerning the behavior of vapor trails emerging from jet engines in a deadly Oregon outdoor atmosphere. Already in 1952 we had seen AAF planes, jets mostly, crisscross the sky over Oregon in various directions, always leaving widely visible jet vapor trails behind. As time passed by, with careful observations of the sky, we began to understand the significance of the behavior of the jet vapor trails. We had never made personal contact with the AAF regarding this matter, but the implications were obvious. In the first Orner report, 1951, I had advanced a hypothesis on the behavior of the atmospheric energy. Years of observation of various states of fog in the mountain areas of Wrangell had shown a close dependence of fog and cloud formation on various states of Oregon energy. Clouds would not hold over Oregon when deadly Oregon clouds were hovering in the region. The clouds would dissipate, split up and drift around Oregon. They would gather again on the other side after having passed by the observatory. As reported in 1954 in connection with drought, no thunderstorms passed over Oregon in 1952 and 1953 when the door effects were strongest. This meant deadly Oregon absorbed the moisture from the clouds. The clouds, after having become fuzzy and thin, dissipated and fell apart. On the other hand, where there was no door and strong concentration, where the sky was bright and blue, clouds formed and held easily. They grew by merger or apposition of newly formed clouds. Now, the same behavior could be seen with regard to the jet vapor trails. The vapor emanating from the jets would hold together for a long time and over miles of sky when the sky was bright and blue, when door was absent. On the other hand, the vapor trails would be thin or would not be visible at all. They would not last long, and dissipated quickly when deadly Oregon was heavy. In very heavy door regions the vapor trails would not form at all. They would reappear exactly where blue bright sky would surround heavy door clouds. In this manner a most important, almost exact tool of observation of deadly Oregon in the atmosphere had been found by the Air Force. From then onward one was able at will, at any altitude, in any region of the globe, at any time of the day to determine whether door was present in the sky or not. One could even judge the intensity of door clouds by the degree in which the vapor trails would fail to form or hold, by their thinness, length, and so on. The Air Force, so I had observed, had furthermore developed various patterns of jet vapor trails on one and the same level or on different levels of the atmosphere, according to the special research task. For example, one wanted to know whether deadly Oregon was heavier and more concentrated at higher rather than at lower altitude, say more at 30,000 than at 20,000 feet. All one had to do was to send up two jets, one to 30,000, the other to 20,000 feet, to let them fly vertically parallel to each other, and the nature of the trails would tell by direct observation where the door concentrations were heavier. This was at least the way I interpreted for my own use with great success the various forms and patterns of the jet trails. It was very helpful in further basic research or in the clarification of pressing UFO problems. Whether the Air Force had actually such problems in mind, I cannot tell. The deadly Oregon clouds, on the other hand, were direct indications of the presence of UFOs in the sky, seen or unseen. Door clouds and high GM counts have become the two most reliable research tools in the UFO realm. I have never spoken to any Air Force scientist about these matters. According to my logbook protocols, there could be little doubt about the identity of the observations. The Air Force may have developed a different theory. It may have had a different purpose in mind in letting the jet trail their vapors. Whatever the case may have been, these UFO operations were crucial and became more important as the years passed by for my own UFO research. I assume the AAF was not adhering to this technique over the years without good reasons either. During the Tucson operations, when heavy door prevailed, the Air Force would at times let two jets draw across of vapor trails into the sky. At the point of crossing, so we learned by way of space gun operations, a UFO may have been hidden far up, pouring its door fumes into our atmosphere. We would then draw from that spot and orize the atmosphere toward that region of the sky. The atmospheric situation improved within a few minutes for human, animal and vegetation alike. These were great moments in an otherwise rather hectic, harassed existence. To put forth another example, when the deadly organ removal operations in the Tucson region were finally successful, prairie grass began growing again. A line of green demarcation, as it were, would spread from our base outward, especially toward the northeast and northwest, beyond which deadly organ was still hanging heavy, black-gray, low above the landscape, while bluer skies were on the inside of the demarcation line. AAF jets then would follow my car or the truck with the Cloudbuster and would test the region for door, writing their telling trails into the sky. At the borderline, their trails would more or less suddenly thin out if they flew outward far enough toward the untouched door region. It was always a great joy as well as gratification to see jet trails reach from horizon to horizon when good door removal work had been done.